Free speech. We're told it's sacred. Politicians claim to defend it. Journalists swear they live by it. But when you look closer, it's just another tool, used when it suits them and tossed aside when it doesn't. On one hand, you've got a political party silencing councillors because they don't like how a newspaper covered them.
Bring investment into the county.
So how do you, at this standpoint, was also with the new authority, how do you see the relationship with EMCA moving forward? Take a minute if you need.
Sorry. I don't know what to say to that.
On the other, you've got a national radio host twisting a perfectly legal house move into a scandal just because it involved Angela Rayner. And in both cases, free speech isn't being defended, being weaponised.
Talking about people that you don't get on with, the Reform UK leader of Nottinghamshire County Council, Mick Barton, has banned councillors from speaking to journalists at a local newspaper, saying the party will not engage with any other media outlet. That's not good, is it, when it comes to freedom of speech?
I literally spoke to the leader yesterday, and they're very happy to speak to people from the media. But if a certain media organisation distorts and completely acts in an irresponsible way, then equally they're entitled to say, we're going to talk to other parts of the media, not yourselves.
You can't, in a democracy, you can't pick and choose who you speak to and who you like and who you don't like.
Of course you can. That's the whole point of a democracy. That's the whole point of a democracy. You pick and choose who you speak to, and sometimes you speak to friends, sometimes you don't. But it is equally a media organisation does have a responsibility also to present some things in a sensible way, presenting both sides of a debate or an argument. And that was the issue there.
So you want to be held to account, but only by people that you like and agree with?
We want to be held to account by people who are going to be rational, sensible, and not completely distorted and biased.
Do you think Nigel Farage will get involved in the row?
No, I'm not involved in the row. It's a local row, and I'm sure they'll sort it out at some point. But you know what? Sometimes you've got to say enough. We're done.
This is Reform UK, the party that brands itself champions of free speech. Yet here they are, shutting down the press access because the coverage made them look incompetent. That isn't defending free speech, that's controlling it. And it's even more dangerous when you remember they want to withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights, the very framework that enshrines freedom of expression in law. You take that away, and bans like this stop being local spats and start being systemic. That doesn't become then democracy, that's the road to fascism. Now, let's move to the media side. Here's Nick Ferrari, suddenly reinvented as an investigative crusader over Angela Rayner legally avoiding £40,000 in stamp duty.
It's a non-story, but we know that you turn into an investigative journalist, Nick, with a moral compass when it's someone on the opposite side. Because I'm
happy to expose everybody if I get the chance.
Well, see, Nick, I don't recall you asking Rishi Sunak to be very open with his blind trust. I don't recall you asking Boris Johnson to publish every single receipt.
I asked him how many children he had.
I asked him how many children
he had.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh, right.
What about asking Farage when you have him on for a little belly tickle, who bankrolls him, or asking Richard Tice about his offshore trusts?
I've asked Mr. Tice about the latter of those two.
I hope your listeners can see this for what it is.
Which is?
This is the media class, including yourself, telling working class people, especially a woman, especially a northern one, to stay in their lane.
I cannot believe you don't see any hypocrisy here, Marina.
OK, tell me where the hypocrisy is. Let's discuss that.
This is someone who is a lawmaker who has legally, weeks prior to buying a flat in Hove, shifted what we understand to be her prime residence from her constituency home to avoid paying £40,000. Now,
Okay, so let's agree.
And it's nothing
on
to
the
do with the
fact
fact she's a woman. If it was
she
Ed
has
Miliband, I would do the
navigated,
same.
right? Nick, did you ever tell your listeners the second home premium tax was Rishi
written by the
Sunak's
Conservatives?
policy?
Yes, I did.
Yes, under Boris Johnson's level. She
and
hasn't
endorsed
pushed it
by this
through.
government.
I started out very working class, right? And I'm all for the working class doing well for themselves.
Absolutely.
And buying their properties,
Absolutely.
right? So why are you putting a cap on her ambition?
A tax rule written by his beloved Conservatives. Perfectly legal, perfectly within the system. Yet Ferrari chooses to spin this as some moral outrage, and credit to Marina Purkis, she properly skewers him. She points out he never presses Rishi Sunak on his blind trust or forces Boris Johnson to publish receipts, never challenges Farage or Tice about their backers. Yet when it's Angela Rayner, working class, northern woman, suddenly it's the scandal of the century. LBC edited this clip to make Nick sound better than he really was, and I recommend that you listen back to the full episode, as in the full interview, once Nick realises he's losing the argument, he literally waves to his producer to cut her off, which you can actually see at the end of that clip. So, this isn't journalism, that's bias dressed up as accountability. Reform UK Limited want to silence the press coverage when it hurts them, and our media class want to amplify the non-stories when it suits their politics. Both sides shouting about free speech, but neither of them actually defending it. For politicians, it's about control. For journalists, it's about the agenda. And for the rest of us, well, we're stuck in the middle of a system where truth becomes second to tribal loyalty. So, the next time you hear a politician or a presenter grandstanding about free speech, remember, it's not about your right to speak. It's about their right on who gets to be heard. And that brings me neatly to Angela Rayner herself. Because while the media try to drag her down over a non-story, she's been busy putting Conservatives in their place. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.